Everyone who believes there's a heaven wants to get to heaven. But how do you get to heaven? Well, in order to get to heaven, there are certain things that you need to know. What do you need to know to get to heaven? In this series of short videos, we're considering questions people have about getting to heaven. Last time we saw that to get to heaven you need to know that there is a God, that God made us, and that he tells us how we're to live. And you can watch that there. But that's not enough. You also need to know if you're good enough to get to heaven. And that's the question we're considering today. Am I good enough to get to heaven? Most people think that they're pretty good. In fact, most people think that they're better than average. Lots of studies have found that. One study found that 90% of drivers think that they're better than the average driver. Another study found that 94% of university professors think that they're better than the average university professor. Most of us think that we're pretty good. Yes, we make the odd mistake, but by and large we're good. And so it makes sense that most people think that they'll get into heaven. But heaven is God's home. And so it's God who decides who gets in. God is perfect. And God wants his home and everything in it to be perfect. So the pass mark for getting into heaven is not 50%, it's 100%. It's not good enough to be better than average. You need to be perfect. And none of us are. I'm not. You're not. We all know that. And the Bible confirms that. It says, there is no one righteous, not even one. There is no one who does good, not even one. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. God made us, and so God makes the rules for us. And we've broken those rules. We've disobeyed God. We've gone our own way rather than God's way. And so we deserve God's punishment. Instead of spending eternity with God in heaven, we deserve to spend eternity separated from God in hell. And Jesus said that God has authority to throw you into hell. Jesus actually spoke a lot about hell. He described it as eternal punishment. But his most frequent description of it is as a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth. God made us, so God makes the rules for us. We have all broken God's rules, and so we all deserve God's punishment. Am I good enough to get into heaven? No. No one is good enough to get into heaven. But thankfully, it doesn't end there, as we'll see next time.